Alright, now that we have our task controller working again, it's time to allow users to register for our API. So let's add a new route for that. And the URI is going to be register, and the action that we call in the auth controller will also be register. So let's go to our auth controller now and add this method. And again, we'll use the generic request class and start with the request validation. So the fields that we want to validate are first a name. So in our database, if I'm not mistaken, the name of a user is a required field. It is not nullable. So we need to have that, the name of the user. And this is going to be a required field, and it should have a maximum amount of characters of 255, because again, this is the maximum amount of characters that are allowed in our database field. And for the email, we are also going to require this field. It should also be max 255 characters, and the email needs to be unique and actually also a valid email. So let's add that first, and in the validation we'll add unique, and this is unique in the users table and the email field. So that are arguments to the unique validator. And lastly, we are gonna require a password, and that is also required. This needs to be confirmed, and a minimum of 6 characters. Now the next thing that we need to worry about is hashing the password. So we're gonna override that in the validated data. And for this we need to use the hash facade, and we're gonna make a new hash with the currently submitted password. And after this we can create the new user. So let's do that. Get the user and run the create function, and in here we can pass the validated data. So let's worry about our response now, and for this let's pick the snippet from above. Now besides the access token, what we also want to return is that currently or newly created user. And let's set a custom HTTP status code of 201. And with that we can test this out in Postman. So this needs to be a post request. Already set the accept HTTP header, and as a body we'll send JSON, and we're gonna need a name, which will be Koen, my name, an email address of koen@koen.nl, because I'm in the Netherlands. This is not a real email address, or at least not for me. And a password of password. And since we are required to confirm this password, we also need to pass password underscore confirmed, which should be the same as the password above, obviously. Now let's send this request. Confirm confirmation. Yes, that did the trick. Now we get a user returned, newly created user with the access tokens. Now, if I try to send this request again, you'll notice that the email has already been taken. And if I don't have a strong enough password, then the validator should complain about that as well. So that should be all it takes to register a new user in your API. With that, I hope to see you in the next video.